Grace Gardner here. Peace. Lifelong fan of peace. Right now, I am in a terrible spot because the government and the military have me pegged to be killed because I know all these things that they don't want you to know. So, like I've been telling you, Barack Obama was told that he couldn't win without the satanic cult. And he signed on. The bargain, he didn't need to make any concessions because it wasn't true. He would have won easily without them. So this is really basically for the military wives and families of loved ones who were killed in America. What's been happening is Barack has a real evil side. In fact, it might be his everything else might be pretend. And the real Barack Obama loves murder and torture. And so, in exchange for getting to be president, he has let Americans change their passport and their driver's license to Canada so that they can get jobs along the border, so that our servicemen could get through easily. And they're going to take down the Canadian medical system. And they've already started poisoning the food with the poisons that we use here. The whole area of Gibson's that I love so much has shop after shop and bakery after bakery of people who are putting the same poisons that we eat. Did you realize that America, one in two people has a chronic illness? That's pretty disgusting, isn't it? That was nothing like that when I was a kid. And they're doing the same thing in Canada. And they think that because it's a socialized medicine that they'd be able to even get away with better. So what the poisons are is the stuff that goes into the pink slime that McDonald's and pretty much all the fast food use in their hamburgers. It causes heart problems. It causes diabetes. It causes you to make a fat that is impossible to get rid of. It's not a fat that is native to the body. It's the body doesn't know what to do with it, so it just sits there. And I think it, the stuff that they're putting in the food causes so many chronic illnesses, and the people who've concocted this stuff are the pharmaceutical companies, because then once people get sick, then they get hooked on their drugs. And so Barack agreed to that. I know that in Canada there's been wildfires in the northern part of British Columbia, and supposedly they're being set by the U.S. military, and so that we can start surveillance on Canada. because the mooks are moving in and they're taking over. And they need that surveillance for whatever reason. They're so paranoid, these people. So that was one concession that he made. The other was to fake terror attacks. So he went along with terror attacks. I have met the guy that was called Jihadi John, and he was whiter than me, and blue eyes, and not a Muslim. See, these people are not Muslims. It has Islam should not be in the name of these terror groups, because they're just to keep the war perpetuated. And I have a whole lot of other tapes and writings on grace-gardner.org that goes into fine detail on all of that. So if you're missing a loved one from the military who never did even go overseas, hold on just a second. It's because they were murdered. And what's been happening is the military, people in the military have been reading what I've been writing, and they are trying to, get together with self-help groups and trying to see if they can't change the military so that it doesn't include hypnosis and torture. And that's what we do to, I think, pretty much everybody in the military. But if you're in special forces, you get bombarded and you get turned into an automaton, so you can't even think properly. You lose all sense of self. And so if you've lost a loved one who's in this country, it might have something to do with me. They've been trying, and the guys themselves have been trying to, as I said, get self-help and try to get their brain to work again. And President Obama didn't like that. And I think there were a group of them who were going, in Florida, I believe, who were going to go to the news to talk about it. And so Obama ordered that massacre that happened on base. So he killed them all. And any time somebody wants to quit or questions an order, they get killed. I don't know if you guys know that, but that's what's been going on. And it really shouldn't. I mean, if that's what they want to do, that's fine, I guess. I don't agree with it because it takes away free will. But the men should be told what will happen to them once they join the military, and then especially special forces, that they are going to be hypnotized and tortured and electrocuted until they are just killing machines. The guy who was identified as Jihadi John felt like he was in a dream, or he was watching himself do these things without being himself, which makes sense. And he couldn't control it. And it was President Obama who ordered the beheadings, because he had never seen a beheading and he wanted to see one. And so he got up the group of ISIL, and had John, I guess that was his name, I don't know, do those beheadings so that he could watch, just for fun. This is how he has fun. He's doing this to my daughter too. He's got her trapped and hypnotized, and he wants to have her. He said he was going to have her tortured every day. He loves to watch her be tortured. And one of the things he campaigned on was that he was going to shut down Gitmo, Guantanamo Bay. And that, if you read everything I wrote, that is just an excuse to torture people. He goes down there all the time. He went down there all the time and tortured people. So, see, I know all these things, these realities of the military, and I still respect the military and the men in the military. I know it can be run better, and you don't need to torture your own and kill your own men. So, there was a couple of nights where somebody broke in, and then I was able to talk to Barack, and one night also Hillary and Bill, and Trump one night, and this is how I had communication with Barack Obama, who is always told that I was a prostitute, which is something that the military did to me. They had hidden cameras all over my house, so when I had sex, they would put that on the internet, even though the sex was with my husband, except for that one, The Dream, and that was real popular, like 2 billion hits now. And they used that, and the reason why they did that to me was to discredit me. But and that's why Barack won't let me be free, because he knows I'm trying for peace, and he wants war. He loves war, and he wants to kill. And another one, he wants to kill everybody in the Middle East. So does Trump. Wants to kill everybody in the Middle East with no provocation, just because they can. And here's something that I didn't realize, was that if you're president, you can order anybody in the country killed with no reason. They don't give these military men reasons. They just say, go kill her, and then they have to go kill me. So if you've lost a loved one, there's an excellent chance that's because they tried to kill me and couldn't, and because this is God's work I'm doing, believe it or not. But there's angels, and it's very, very difficult to kill me. And even if you come close, God doesn't seem to want to let me die. I have all that documented on my blog, grace-gardner.org. So it's, and I think I called him Arizona, the guy, Jihadi John. What he told me was more men in the military have died in the United States than in Iraq, and I believe it, because those nights that I had the satellite link up with President Obama, he would order massive amounts of people killed. and um, and if they don't follow those orders, then they get killed. And if they try to kill me and can't, then they get killed. And General Robin Rand, who was a good man when I met him, was brainwashed to the point that he hated me. He didn't remember me. And he said, when I finally got through to him and he remembered me, I said, welcome back. And he said, where have I been? And I said, you had your memory erased, and John Alexander got some films of me and showed them to you and made you hate me for it. And he said, oh, I don't hate you, no. And I said, I know. But he had ordered so many things to make my life miserable. And he'd ordered me dead many, many times. So there you have it. The only thing I think that maybe the news people should go to the bases, especially Marine bases and Air Force bases, and see if they can't talk to some of the soldiers and see if they have any more insight into what is going on. The other thing the military has been doing for years now is whatever candidate is a Satanist, then they help to rig the election to get them elected. And evidently we have not elected a Republican to president for 100 years. And it's the military that is being asked to help rig the elections. And I think it's a horrible, it's way worse than ironic. Hold on a minute, my mouth is dry. It's way worse than ironic to send them out to make the world safe for democracy and have them undermine the democracy that they're fighting for. Ain't that a kick in the head? So pray for me, because I could use some prayers, and I am hoping to get some donations on my site and continue this work. And what we Americans should be upset about is that we think we're in a democracy. We think our vote counts, and it doesn't. And that's a sad, sad thing. And the way our military is being used as for the purposes of the mooks to hurt people. My ex-husband was the prince of a satanic cult, and I was the CEO of the Rand Corporation, but never saw a dime, because I kept getting tortured and I kept having my memory erased. But one night, when President Obama killed so many people, one of the people he killed was my ex-husband, and he only killed him then because Peter was going to give himself up and let himself be arrested for he's a murderer on a grand scale, maybe 4,000 people alone he killed. And so in order to stop him from doing that, Barack Obama had him killed because he was going to help me. And he had General Robin Rand killed because he was going to help me. And he had all of the servicemen who were listening to the conversation, he had all of them killed because they wanted to help me. And that's all I'm really asking for, is to get our government back to being a democracy and to treat our servicemen with the respect and dignity that they deserve. And I also would like to get it so that the vets have better treatment. And I was talking to General John Alexander about this, but they could be issued these new little Lance trailers. If you've seen them, the inside is enormous. There's so much room, and that way when they get an order to go do something, like all these people who are here have an order to hurt me, and then they have to go, and if they can't afford the rent in the area, they can't. They're homeless. That's when they're homeless, and that's gotta stop. All kinds of things have to stop. The president can't continue to kill willy-nilly anybody that he wants, especially our own servicemen. And he's going to have to lose that power after the presidency's over. Evidently, Barack's a killing machine. He killed, I don't know what they told me, 20,000? And most of them are our servicemen. So, I'm telling you this, and you know that it's true, because if you read about me and you talk to people who know me, not to people who are trying to spread the filthy rumors about me, that I don't lie. I don't lie. I'm a terrible liar. In that I'm terrible at lying. I just don't. So it's all the truth. It doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound like we'll ever get. Oh, I know the other thing that I was told, that Trump was going to send more troops to Afghanistan to cover up the fact that so many have died in this country. It seems such a waste of life, and there's just no regard for the consequences to the families of these men and women, I'm sure, but I guess mostly men. So yeah, and Trump is going to continue. He was responsible for the San Bernardino attack, and he was going to have some more Muslim attacks so that he could get his Muslim ban. But he wanted the Muslim ban just because he doesn't like black people. So the long and short of it is that Obama wanted to kill as many white people as he could while he was in office, and I think he's still doing it. And Trump wants to kill as many black people as he can while he's in office. He even was making plans to bomb the inner cities. They're on if you look at the missile strikes, where the missiles, one is right here in my house, but the inner cities he's put them on for missile strikes. So this is why we have to go to war with Korea, because then we can fire missiles and hit our inner cities and me and anybody they want. So the whole preface of sending more troops to Afghanistan is just to kill more people. That's the bottom line, and most of them will be the men and women who are trying to help themselves with getting over their hypnosis and their torture. So those will probably be the first ones to go, and they'll be killed. It's a wild, wild thing. And I have been anti-war for so long, and didn't even realize that the wars are just make-believe. It's just an excuse to kill people, it seems. You know, when I lived through Vietnam, and those guys, man, they came back in such bad shape. Such bad shape. It's horrifying. It really is. And here I am. I'm so lonely, and all these memories of these things, and now they're all coming true. And yeah. So there you have it. It won't be Korea's missiles that are hitting our inner cities and killing me. It'll be missiles from right here in the United States. I guarantee it. It's horrible. It's horrible. So it's a lot to take in, and I hope this helps for the families who are trying to find out what happened to their loved one in the military, and why they're so changed when they come back, the ones who do come back. They've been reprogrammed to be killing machines, and they don't take the time to deprogram them. Most times they'll just kill them. And that's got to stop. There's so many things that happen in this country that were set up for the rules of the mooks. And they've taken over. They've taken over the country. And even Barack Obama, who probably would have been a very good president had he not signed his life away. And he's brainwashed still. He's got this guy who, when he ran for whatever office it was the first time, one of the mooks came and started on him and brainwashed him. And then John Alexander took it a step too far. He told me I went too far. But he did. He went too far, and now Barack is letting everyone pay. I don't know how he can live with himself. All right, well, here we go again. Peace. Good luck to me. And please listen to this and pass it along. And listen to it a few times. There's a lot of information. Thank you.